So this is the question that I want you to answer. But really, there are lots of ways to frame the question. You know, I'm connected to I know I'm connected to my country, or I know my nation, or I know I'm connected to my culture because I feel X, or I do Y, or something like that, to where you just you're in it.
All right, so I feel connected to my country and culture because I grew up practicing the culture, customs, traditions, the festivals in school, in my community. I've been around a similar circle of people who practice said traditions and cultures. So when I'm anywhere in the world, I feel a strong connection to my home or my identity as a Bangladeshi. So I guess that's about it for me.
Give me one particular cultural practice that you really like, that's uniquely Bangladeshi.
Well, we have this thing called Bangladeshi New Year. It's around the month of April where there's big festivals, merry-go-rounds, carnival food, music. Everyone's wearing red and white, traditional clothing. And it's generally extremely festive. It's pretty much like an American, country fair without all the butter, essentially.
Without all the butter?
And all the deep fried stuff, you know?
Oh, I love that. Okay, that's cool. We take a candy bar, okay, that's pure sugar and chocolate. We roll it in some kind of flour. We deep fry it. And we eat it, man. Can you wrap your thoughts around that?
Honestly, yeah. We have our fair share of desserts that are extremely, maybe not deep fried, but very, very, very sweet and borderline unhealthy. So when I see this, I'm like, oh yeah, fair enough. They got this stuff all around the world.
All right. Okay, so listen, so you feel when you're connected to your country because you're connected to the customs.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay, that's cool. All right, man.
And I feel most connected to my culture when I start speaking to others in Mandarin. My parents grew up in Taiwan, so they're very fluent in Chinese. But unfortunately, I couldn't really learn the language well.
No, but nonetheless, when you're speaking it, when you are speaking Mandarin, you feel a connection to the culture.
Yeah, because I can understand others in Mandarin, and I feel like I'm more part of a bigger Chinese culture.
Say more about that. What does that mean for you?
The food that they eat. I go into a restaurant that's Chinese, and I can speak to the waiter in that language. And when I speak Chinese to my parents, it also reminds me of how they grew up in their culture. And I never really got to experience that, but it's a little taste of it.
Yeah, totally. No, listen, people talk about language, okay? And so we're this nation of so many immigrants, okay? There's 60 million more or less Americans, which is about 12, 13, 14% of us here that were born outside of the United States, okay? Actually, it's higher than that. It's more like 20%, okay? That were born outside the United States. And what that means is there's a connection to culture somewhere. And the connection to culture, it's just it's like smelling manure and feeling connected to the farms, you know what I mean? But for you, it's just hearing the language and talking the language, speaking the language, connects you to something that's deeper in your lineage.
Right.
Yeah,
I feel I can identify myself better as a Chinese person when I start speaking to others, my classmates in Chinese. I feel that's a very cool experience to be able to do something like that, just because there's tons of international students here.
Yeah.
And they might be native speakers.
Yeah.
And I get to learn a lot more about the language through them.
Very cool, man. No, I think it's cool. I think it's this is, heritage. Like nobody migrates to another place and just walks away from everything that their family has. People hold on to things, which is why, we see in this particular nation so much really complex culture from around the world. So good for you, man.
Thanks.
That you really learned and kept up with Mandarin in that way.
I'm not too good at speaking, but
That's okay.
I'm still getting better.
No, but that doesn't matter, right? What matters is that for you, hearing Mandarin and speaking Mandarin, even if you're not fluent, it connects you to your ancestors, and in particular to your parents and grandparents, right? Which is
Yeah,
big.
absolutely. Like I talk to my mom in Chinese solely, and my dad knows like a little bit of English, but like I try and talk to them in Chinese as well.
Yeah, cool.
And I feel that I'm connected to my country because I feel safe out there, and they also support the same religious belief that I believe in.
How does Islam express itself in Saudi Arabia that's unique? Or does it? I mean, you have Mecca and Medina, right?
Yeah, we do.
Do you feel different that you are from Saudi and both Mecca and Medina are in Saudi Arabia? It's like this is, two of the three holiest sites for Muslims.
Well, I feel that I'm lucky.
Yeah. When you meet other Saudis, do you feel in like kind of an immediate bond to them? Because you're
Yeah.
a very small country.
We are.
Well, relatively speaking, population-wise.
I mean, I like that the people out there, they're close to each other, and you can talk to anyone. Like, anyone in Saudi Arabia is nice. And even if you needed help, you don't have to ask for it. They just help you.
Like there are
This is
lots
really
of
nice.
things set up
Yeah.
for you. Are Saudis like more religious than other folks? Than like Qataris, let's say?
I guess so.
I don't want to start
Because our government practices Islam more than them.
Yeah, well, I know, but I think that because you have Mecca and the Hajj is going, millions of Muslims are coming into Saudi Arabia every year for the Hajj,
Yeah.
right? So that feels like that is a major piece. Have you done a Hajj? Have you-
No.
Yeah? Are you planning
Maybe
to?
in the future.
Yeah, all right. And you're not hijabi.
No, I'm not.
Are you back home?
Hijabi back home, but
You have
here-
to be back home.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Do you drive?
No.
You
But you
gonna learn
can
to
drive in
dri-
Saudi Arabia.
Yeah. Women have started to drive. Are you going to drive?
I hope so.
Okay, all right, good. Hey, how come you're not hijabi here?
Well, I'm from a small city
Uh-huh.
in the south side, which
Yeah.
is near Yemen. And from my city, they're really strict about hijab
Uh-huh.
and niqab, if you know it. But my dad thinks that if we're outside the city, then you can do whatever you want because there won't be anyone that will comment on his daughter.
Yeah,
No.
very cool. Got that? Yeah, very cool. Yeah, I like that. Tell your dad I like his thinking.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll tell him.
And even when you're outside the country, do what other people do when you're outside the country, man. Yeah. I feel like that. Blend in with wherever you're at,
Yeah.
I like that. Cool.
To answer this question, I'm connected to the Chinese culture because
Well,
first, yeah,
No, go ahead.
yeah, because firstly the name, and then because it's just the fact that actually no, wherever I go around the world, there's always Chinese people, and then we start speaking Chinese, and I feel connected to them. Yeah.
Okay, how about German culture? What connects you? How much of you is German?
Just about not at all.
Yeah? Do you speak German?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think the fact that
Wait, what were you doing in Germany?
studying middle school and high school.
Uh-huh.
So I think it's because the fact that both Chinese culture and German culture are quite exclusive.
Yeah.
So I mean the fact that I don't look German is already enough for them to not include me.
Oh, so you weren't able to really integrate into German culture.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you want to get deeper into German culture?
I guess at some point I do, but then it just didn't really happen.
Yeah. because you feel like you just weren't kind of brought in?
Yeah. I mean, they really. I feel like they really don't like the people that don't speak good Germans. That's also part of the reason.
Well, it's hard right now, especially in
course.
Germany. Germany's going through a period of really intense immigration. Okay, so for you though, your Chinese roots are really.
Yes.
Any specific thing about China, like a particular thing that really bonds you?
Probably the festivals. I mean, the one that people probably know the best is the Spring Festival.
Yeah.
So that's basically the New Year.
Yeah.
And so that's the one thing.
So you feel most Chinese around food and festivals and traditions and stuff.
Yeah, that's basically that's, sort of what we do really. It's not the food, but just like sort of just people just being together.
What are you most connected to in Taiwanese culture?
I would say the openness and the services over there, because Taiwan's a very open place that everyone is just nice. Like they accept everything, and even though there are some new fashion coming up, they'll be like, oh yeah, whatever.
So Dee said something when he was talking about Korea and we were talking about the communitarian spirit in Korea. Do you feel that? How do you feel that in Taiwan?
And I feel like in Taiwan it's more like a acceptance. Like there's no, I know in somewhere in Korea they have like different standards, like invisible standards, like traditional cultural standards. And in Taiwan it's not that heavy. Well, it was heavy before, but now it's getting lighter and lighter. Okay,
so what aspect of Taiwanese culture are you most connected to? Like what is it that makes you, when you're doing X or when you're around X, whatever it is, you're Taiwanese?
I would say
besides protesting the China. Yeah.
Well, that is not the. Although that is the majority in the government, not the people, though.
I got it.
Well, we're not that kind of crazy protesters. It's like the acceptance to new things. Like we can take new things usually relatively faster, though.
Yeah. I got you. Yeah. It's very, very technologically innovative. No. You don't protest crazy. Like you protest in a very organized way. Like in East Asia, you protest in an organized way.
Yeah, very organized.
Yeah. When are you most connected to Afghanistan?
Yeah, when I'm with my Afghan friends.
When you're with your Afghan friends, you feel most connected.
Yeah. Yeah, we are talking the language. Yeah, we are eating something from Afghanistan. We are listening to music from Afghanistan. Just we are right. And sometimes, when I'm talking to my relatives in Afghanistan, just saying.
So, how long have you been in the Netherlands?
Yeah, 3 years.
When do you feel Dutch?
When it is soccer or football or sometimes sports, I feel Dutch.
My family's Indian, and more specifically, we're Malayali, which is a specific subculture in South India. So the most connected I feel to that culture is when I have to represent it for my friends or like for anyone that's curious.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of aspects of that are very specific to that subculture and not to like the wider Indian.
Can you give us one?
I mean, it's not necessarily highly specific to our culture, but the best example that I usually like put people onto would be like dosa with different like chutneys and like stuff like that, sambar. Because it's the easiest way for them to see like what the difference could be.
So for you, it's like not just being Indian, but it's being part of your.
Yeah. It's.
Do you say tribe? What do you say?
It's hard to say tribe because I know when my family starts to talk about tribes, we go very deep into like family names and stuff like that. So it's not necessarily like the same culture. It's like this is our lineage, but.
Okay, so you feel most connected to that lineage when you're speaking the dialect?
That's the other thing. I actually am not fluent in Malayalam.
Okay.
So a lot of the times it's like my family hasn't had to speak Hindi unless it's to like, national officials or something.
Yeah.
And then beyond that, there's Malayalam and then, English. So like the major reason why I feel the most connected is because even though I have like maybe a little bit of a language barrier,
Yeah.
I can still be familiar enough to represent it to like all the different people that are curious.
Yeah, to like us.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, dude. Thanks, man.
Of course.
I'd say I'm most connected because of my last name. And
Wait, what's your last name?
Shate,
Shatay. S-H-E-T-A-Y.
Etayy.
Oh, yeah, Shatay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'd say that's because like I feel like a lot and many like I'd say like all Arabs like you kind of have your last name like on your back and
Yeah.
it's like you want to carry that with you and just like be good like and show that like you're good like.
So what about Syria that what do you most connect with Syria then? Like what is like when you okay, but your name, but what else? Like what is there?
I mean like I don't want to just say like food and all that, but I'd say I'm most connected with is like when I'm with people or like other people my age that are also like me, like their parents are from Syria and like back at home I'm from like Allentown, Pennsylvania. There's a big Arab community and especially Syrian community, and from Syria, like the village that my family's from, a lot of families like immigrated together and like there's a big Syrian community like back where I'm from, and even here too like there's people that I know and I feel most connected when I'm with them. And like what you brought up earlier is like when I'm not sure who you talked to it about, but when I meet other Syrians like I feel more comfortable around them. Like even other Arabs like we all share like similar cultures and stuff that
You share similar cultures, but there's something about being around Syrians that for you is yeah. What's your favorite Syrian dish, by the way?
shawarma.
Shawarma?
Yeah. So my mom, like, before moving here, my mom basically taught me like how to make it. I mean, it's just chicken and with like spices and everything, but like even the sauce and everything, like she taught me, and I've been making it up here. So
Yeah.
and like all the other foods, like she sends up here, like the food is like major.
Yeah. Syrian food and Afghan food, by the way, are two of my favorite foods. Yeah.